Welcome, welcome. Oh my This has been a long time coming doing this podcast. I'm doing this for funsies and hobbies, and I want to see if I can build a community on like horror stuff, maybe like Reddit stories, personal stories, or whatsoever. I want to like have a conversation in the comments, or I don't know if I can open a community page on my channel. But at first, I just want it to be fun and as a hobby because I've loved anything horror, paranormal, thriller, psychological thriller, true crime. I've always been a skeptic with regards to the paranormal or horror stuff. And then we're not gonna cover true crime just yet. I think I don't wanna put an end to that. Maybe down the line I want to do it, but not right now. We've always had this horror nights. We were in the TV room and we're just watching horror movies or anything, and it's always with my mom because she loves it. She loves the paranormal, the horror, and everything. So I think that was my introduction to this, and I've always loved it. Sometimes I use horror stuff to like relax myself, regulate my emotions. I even use it as like a lullaby to make me go to sleep, like podcast, movies and documentaries and everything. So enough about me. I found Reddit stories that are supposed to give you goosebumps. I haven't fully read them yet. I skimmed a little bit so I know what I'm going into. So this is coming from the subreddit RBI, Reddit Bureau of Investigation. I was introduced to this subreddit by the podcast of Heart Starts Pounding. The first story is from Abisa Islave. Okay, so here they go. It feels like I'm being spied on. Hey Reddit, apologies for any formatting problems on mobile. So about a month ago, I found a small black puck duct tape to a bookshelf in my dining room. Can provide photos if needed, but it's similar to a MagSafe charger in design, but a little smaller and with a switch, red/blue LED and a reset pinhole button. After using Google Lens and asking some folks, figured out it's a voice-activated voice recorder. I already got goosebumps. Taped to the inner wall of my one bookshelf, it was placed there on a Wednesday at 7:15 to 7:45 a.m. I found it the following Saturday morning while cleaning. How do you know it was placed there on Wednesday and with the time frame? Okay, let's see. Let's not comment until the story is over. Okay. I know it's a voice recorder because I plugged it into a spare dummy PC I keep air gap from the home network for hardware testing. It had no IP connection or outgoing network ability, but it did have audio files matching the previous couple days before I found it. Notably, a small dinner which I invited my girlfriend's sister over to eat with us. I had about half a dozen 2-hour long audio files on an internal drive which I since opened. I now have the device itself held in my gun safe behind a key and passcode. Now I let it go as there didn't seem to be any way to follow up. I chalked it up to some weird coincidence because I likely forgot to lock my front door after hosting a friend from Delaware. My bad. Lesson learned. I think this is a man because they're so nonchalant about this. Because if this is a woman, you'd be freaked out. Because why do you have a recording device in your home? And then nothing's stolen, so it's personal. It's not like just a random thing. It's like you're targeted. Nothing stolen, so I got offline. However, while waiting for a package to get delivered over the weekend, Someone in an orange safety vest and unmarked white van got out and was recording or taking pictures of my front door slash porch. She stayed pretty consciously out of range of my ring camera I borrowed and aimed at my front door. My main question: is there anything advice you can offer to help either catch or dissuade who's doing this? Okay, so that was their first post. They have a lot of updates. They seem so relaxed by this. If that was me, I'd be calling the cops. I know the cops won't do anything about this because it's just no harm done. It's just a recording device. But at the end of the day, at least you've got a record. We don't have a lot going on. We don't have any other information, weird situation you had with other people, or any other people that might be doing this to you. Maybe the girlfriend is doing, like, you know, I know other partners do this because I've heard stories about that. So maybe the girlfriend. Comment by the OP said, forgot to add, my natural paranoia is why I'm hesitant to just jump to it's a feds thing and I'm being raided. Levels of assumptions. I'm trying to approach this with a steel man mentality that nothing's true unless unequivocally proven. Are you kidding me? But there's a proof. There's a voice recorder you found in your home. Someone is recording you without your knowledge. You're being spied on. Yeah? Update. To answer some questions I see pop up. The girlfriend angle. The girlfriend angle was one I seriously considered. Thing is, she's a big fan of Dunkin' and gets it every morning before work and sends me what she gets. She was over the night before the listening device was planted. I went back and checked. She sent me her Dunkin' order at 6:57 a.m. and the listening device started recording at 7:32 a.m. that day. Continuing with this update. She went to the cops and they did nothing. What do you expect? Come on, what do you expect? And when that partner turned himself in, they said, well, it's resolved now, so nothing to be done. You know, classic cop shit. Additionally, at the risk of divulging my location, my local legal system is kind of known as corrupt due to a certain kids for cash scandal. Commenter says your girlfriend or her sister thinks you are cheating on her. I would put money on one of them being behind this. The OP replies it was a very real possibility, but at that time you were openly polyamorous, and she sent me a pic of her Dunkin' order 5 minutes before the first recording started, when that Dunkin' is 15 minutes away, so not the girlfriend. And then the commenter says maybe one of her partners is jealous or one of yours. And then the OP replies, no, we've since shifted monogamous and my other partner at the time was the mentioned person who was tracked. But okay, so it's not the girlfriend. It's his other partner was the one who's tracked. But still, he has a connection, you know? Okay, oh, the sister angle. The sister of my girlfriend also has mid-stage MS. She can barely move on her own, let alone plan a device in a building she'd never been to before. Wait, what? She'd never been to before, but she was there. The dinner. Right? She can plan it. I mean, she's already there. Yeah, okay. He said it cannot be, turned on and off from a phone or anything. You have to turn it on and off the device itself, right? The landlord angle. Okay. The landlord was an option, but I knew him prior to this. He's the grandfather of my ex-girlfriend, which typically would make him more suspicious, but this man is in his mid to late 60s, barely knows how to operate a T9 phone, and goes to bed at 8 p.m. He also works at the time and doesn't have a key to my apartment. There's no maintenance man. The landlord's the only person involved with the property. This guy is very trusting. No, there's a paranoia somewhat with the computer and stuff. He's listing suspects, likely suspects, but he's dismissing very easily. Okay, this is his main theory. My main theory is my upstairs neighbor. He's a bit of a creep, has access to my front door, and knows when my car is gone and my girlfriend's car is gone, and knows they're tied to my apartment. Additionally, he's a security guard for the local college, and his shifts ends right about when that was placed, and lines up with the heavy boot sounds that head off the beginning of the recordings. I'm getting goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps. Can you see? Can you see? Wait. Can you see? I think you can't see, but I have. Yeah. Okay, I am agreeing with them. You know he's a creep. Why? The access to your front door and the heavy boot sounds. Oh my god. If I was hearing that, the recording device is already a lot. But then I didn't put into account like him listening, you know, because there's no video. You're just listening. You don't know what's coming. And heavy boot sounds. Oh my gosh. Okay, an update. I've since set up a ring camera aimed at my front door. I don't have any others presently as I'm pretty anti-surveillance. Hell, I've taken and taught classes on counter surveillance, but I'll likely look at snagging a few small Handycam style setups and link them to my PC and fit it to a remote viewer. I think it's time to not be anti-surveillance because no. Another update. I told you he has a lot of updates. My partner being a possibility was playing on my mind a lot, so I called her work and explained the whole situation. The bosses and her co-workers also know me. I stated I didn't know anything beyond when she punched in on that date. In short, it was 7:24, which checks out for the distance between Duncan and her job. She's a preschool teacher, so she's state regulated and highly monitored. So yeah, she's accounted for from 6:40 to then as traveling. She's also downloaded me her Google Maps history which her car is linked to, so she's all good. Okay, another update for the upstairs neighbor. Okay, my upstairs neighbor continues to be my primary suspicion. His partner has recently mostly recovered from a massive stroke, and it's fundamentally changed her behavior. While he is super creepy, she's gotten a lot worse since her stroke. I'm very, very loath to say that I understand how debilitating a stroke can be, but she's begun hanging outside my back door, walking back and forth past my windows, playing music on her phone. This is a shared alley, but she never does it when the windows are closed. The two of them make my skin crawl in a weird, reflexive way I don't get often. And the examples of people that have done that to me are pretty wild instances, and that's all they have with this story. Okay, the first story was a lot. It was a lot. But this next story is also from r/RBI. This is from OPE She Lives. They said, need help with serial prowler. Okay, so a prowler is someone who is kind of casing your house. They're like moving in a stealth way around your house or something. So they said, hello, my husband and I discovered a prowler walking around the back of our townhouse a few nights ago. We later discovered he had been here 6 weeks earlier at almost exactly the same time. We are furious and terrified. We fucked up by not being diligent by closing blinds and keeping a light on back there and not paying great attention to our security cameras. I will admit this. We have since remedied all of those issues, seriously beefs up our security, placed more cameras, etc. After getting a lot of great suggestions from locals on Nextdoor / my brother who is in law enforcement, we called the police right after it happened and shared the second piece of footage as soon as we discovered it. We shared these videos with all of our neighbors and provided some of them with the same tips we received, along with dowels for their sliding glass doors. We have the means to protect ourselves, and I'm and I am proficient in using those means. Okay, I know what that is, because this is in America. You know? We cannot have dogs here, or I would have gotten one immediately. My fear is this: the police just accepted the footage, advised they will pay attention to the area, and advised us to keep calling when he comes back. Given the repeated peeping incidents, I fear that he will escalate, and who's to say it won't be next time. I am terrified, and I would love any/all advice on how to navigate this or figure out who is this. So far, we have done the following: 1. Share this footage with our apartment complex, police, neighbors, and next door. No one has recognized him yet. Number 2. Share their contact info with all the neighbors and provided them with tools/help fortifying their own townhouses. Number 3. Gone to the apartment complexes nearby to share the footage and see if they recognize him. No luck yet. Number 4. Reach out to our local news station in hopes they will get the word out. They have passed it along to their reporters. Number 5. Fortified all exterior windows, doors, and installed motion activated lighting/additional cameras. And then she linked to footage. I don't want to watch it right now. This is gonna freak me out, and I'm gonna sleep after this. This is one of my fears. Someone real, a person, someone that can hurt you. This is not paranormal. This is someone that can hurt you. One of my paranoia is someone like breaking into the house and doing something. They want to do this to you, like specifically you, like they targeted you for this type of crime. So I don't want to watch this footage, but we're gonna watch this footage while I'm editing this and you seeing this when I post this. So here are the footage. So what do you think? Comment down below. I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna be watching it while I'm editing this. Okay, next story. This is also strange things happening in the house. Like the first one, also in their home, a recording device. Come on, that's gotta make your skin crawl. And then the serial prowler in your home, another thing. And this one, the third and last story for this episode, is also from r/RBI. This is posted by Massive Strike 6127. They said, strange things happening in my house. They said, I left for vacation last week and arrived home on Monday night. I went to my garage door to enter in the house and it was locked. I did have a pet sitter over, which is a family friend who I completely trust and have never had an issue with. So I thought he maybe had locked that door. Okay, that was that was a bit of a foreshadowing that it was not him. Okay. So the following day, I was on the couch watching TV when I heard my toilet lid slam upstairs in my bathroom, and I then hear my house creak. This usually does when I'm walking in my bedroom. No. Okay, I gotta lock in. Continuing. At first, I thought it was my cat, but I looked at her cat tree and she was sitting there. I freaked out and scoured the entire home and did not find a thing. I was super paranoid until I went downstairs and saw my sliding door cracked. I checked my cameras and didn't see anything unusual. I locked my sliding door and nothing else happened yesterday. Okay, if this happened to me, I'd be out of the house, in a hotel, calling the cops, and, searching the whole house, not me. Not me. Okay, continuing. Today I was getting in the shower. I turned it on and forgot to grab a towel. So I ran to the hallway to grab one. I come back and my shower is off and my shower door is shut. I 100% remember opening it and leaving it open. It's also sliding so it cannot shut by itself. I know a sliding door. Yeah, it cannot shut by itself. I got super paranoid and then I heard something fall in my closet. My bathroom is right next to my closet, so I went to check and a whole shelf had fallen over to my floor. No, this is my nightmare. This is my nightmare. Oh my god. I immediately threw some clothes on and left. All of my doors and windows are locked. I have cameras pointing at all of my doors and I live in a relatively safe neighborhood. While I am one to believe in ghosts, I am only the second tenant living here and my house was built less than 10 years ago. Am I being super paranoid? You are not being paranoid because this is a lot happening. A lot happening. I'm thinking he because the first time it happened, he did not get out immediately. Because if this was a woman, out immediately. The first weird thing, he thought it was a ghost. I'm thinking a person, a real person. Like frogging. Do you know frogging? When someone is in your house and they're living in your house without your knowledge and they're living like in the crawl space or anywhere you're not really going into and they're just living there. Have you seen those videos? Oh my gosh. I'm immediately thinking that. But they thought it was a ghost. Not me, I'm thinking a person. And they were showering, they have no clothes on. Another layer of vulnerability. You don't have any clothes on and you're experiencing this? No. No, I cannot imagine the terror. Update. Yes, my closet does have a crawl space, but I have never checked up there. See? Frogging. So, yes, I did bring my cat with me, so I should have clarified I did pack a couple things up before leaving. I'm currently staying with a family member right now. After reading the comments, I am pretty sure I have a squatter or someone living in my crawl space. I do live near a river where some unhoused people are nearby, which makes me think they found their way to my home while I was gone. I'm second guessing myself about the shower part that maybe I did turn it off, but I'm still not sure. Another update. My whole house is trashed. Someone was living in the crawl space. I'm currently talking to my landlord about moving units. See? My first thought was right. It was a frogger. Their first thoughts was like a ghost and me right here thinking to the most. I think you want to talk to your landlord about more security, not about just moving units. Those stories were terrifying because paranormal stuff is terrifying as is. Yes, they are. But as a skeptic, I do not have an experience like direct experience with paranormal stuff. I'm okay if paranormal is true, I'm not inviting any ghosts, any spirits, or anything to me. I'm just saying this as a fact. I am not inviting anything, okay? Okay. But a real person is a lot worse because they can really do damage to you, like not just physically but mentally and like emotionally, everything. The first one, it doesn't have any conclusion, so they do not know with that recording device. The second does not have any conclusion as well, and nobody's helping them because this has no they do not have any evidence, no harm done. You just have to defend yourself because the police they can't do anything or they don't want to do anything. I mean, that's just sad and terrifying. It's your home. You're supposed to feel safe there. This last story, it has a conclusion, but still the impact mental health and your emotional health, and you're moving houses, but you're really not sure because there's still the problem like unhoused people and maybe less security in your apartment complex. Is just crazy. Makes my skin crawl, my everything is just making my whole body like shake. All my regards to these OPs, strange things happening in their home. I cannot imagine how they're like feeling, even if the first story, even if the OP was very nonchalant, not very nonchalant, there were paranoia stuff there. I think the way they just gave the story, it kind of gave a little bit of relaxed tone. I think on the inside they're like panicking because this is their home and they're surrounded by suspects, and the suspect have been inside the home. I hope these OPs have their conclusion to this and like have therapy for experiencing this. This is a lot. I cannot imagine. I do not want this happening to me ever in my life. Oh my gosh, guys, that was a lot for our first episode in Aleyn's Horror Club. What do you think? If you want more of this content, comment down below. Like this video, subscribe because I'll be doing a lot more of these. I like doing these videos. Maybe this is a strange way of reminding people that are watching this. So like, keep yourself safe. You never know. Stay safe, everybody, and I'll see you again to the next episode of Aleyn's Horror Club. Bye.